Sam Lawler made his debut, well, sort of debut. I know it's only match sim, but it was against an opponent. It wasn't just against intra-club, against West Coast on the Monday just gone. And I thought it would be good just to do a quick little video just to talk about the role that Sam Lawler plays, his importance to the club, and just what we made of his first appearance. So the fact that he ended up with 2 goals, I think, was a really great output. And he had about five or six shots on goal in total. Sprayed a few out in the full. But what actually stood out to me with those shots on goal is he just kept finding himself in the right spot at the drop of the ball in those stoppages in forward 50. Now, that stuff doesn't just happen by luck or by fluke. That comes with some pretty good footy IQ and just a good understanding of the game and the probability of where the ball's going to end up. And we've got to remember that he hasn't been at the club long enough to probably develop that big of a rapport with Ruckman on being able to, have all these pre-planned things in place on where the ball's going to go straight down his throat. So I thought his ability to read the play was really on show when he was playing at the half-forward role. Not to mention his dead-eye accurate goal kicking. Those set shots, they never looked like missing, did they? They were gun barrel straight, and it looked like it was pretty blustery there as well. So the fact he was able to kick them so truly and convert well was a really, really good sign. And seeing him play like that on the half-forward line really gives me hope that come round 1, 2, or 3, whenever it is that he makes his AFL debut, that I think opposition defenders are going to have to pay him the respect he deserves. You would typically maybe see Oppo defenders zone off and not pay too much attention to younger players playing up forward, trying to apply their craft. But Lawler, I think, is already showing good signs of being a very strong and damaging forward player when he's resting down there. Good overhead mark, and he was actually leading up at the ball carrier as well, which is something not a lot of our forwards do. How often do we see our forwards just put their hand up and say, kick it here, which is just such a horrible tactic to go with. So to see him leading up at the ball carrier, making it nice and easy. Samson Ryan hits him with a laser pass. Caleb Smith drops one on his head in between 2 players. He takes the strong mark and does the rest. So that part of his game I was super impressed with, and hopefully he can keep building on that. From the midfield perspective, look, he probably didn't get as involved in the midfield as I would have liked, and that's going to be a whole raft of things, largely to do with his inexperience and the fact there was a lot of inexperience around him. Probably makes it a little bit hard for him to be a bit more assertive in those type of moments in a game. But he got a few nice possessions. We won the ball a few times. We didn't see any of that blistering burst away from stoppage clearance work that we saw from his highlights video, but there's obviously plenty of time for that to come. This is more about getting him some exposure on the ground and some experience. Sadly, his day ended with getting pushed into a contest, and he's now we know has ended up with a small hairline fracture in the cheekbone and a concussion, which is a horrible way for him to end the game with a minute to go. There was just no need for it. I won't go into that part of it because I'll go on a tangent. But it seems like that type of injury is on the minor side for those type of things. So hopefully, the club's hoping to get him back for round 1. I kind of feel like that being he's obviously so young, that we don't need to rush or push too hard here. I won't be shocked if we see him round 2, 3, or 4 instead. But I can also understand that we've just drafted all these players. Round 1 rolls around, and realistically, we don't have many games in the primetime slots because of our fixturing, which is understandable. And it's probably a good thing for the club if some of these young kids can be on display and get that big primetime experience early on in their career as a bit of a wow factor for being picked up by the Richmond Football Club. As this is what it's going to be like once we bounce back, if that makes sense. So I feel like the club will be very, very hopeful of playing him in round 1, but I don't think they'll push that agenda. If it's not the right thing to do, they just won't do it. I just can't see the logic in risking Sammy Lawler that early. But good to see him on show against the Eagles nonetheless. Seems like he's going to be a very good goal kicker. Loving the haircut as well, and he is looking ripped. Let us know in the comments below, what did you think about Sammy Lawler's game against the Eagles? What are you looking forward to seeing most from him in 2025? And fingers crossed we can see him out there in round 1. But make sure, as always, if you like the Richmond content, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out, and we will see you for the next one. Go Tigers!